Welcome to the Tech Podcast series. This is Lakshit Pant from Azure Developer Community, and here in this Tech Podcast series, we have been diving into the world of tech, the creativity, innovation that has been happening there in the industry. And this is Lakshit Pant, your host for today. And today we have a special guest with us for this episode, who is an industry trailblazer and with a creative mind. And behind the Techno Companion, Mr. Sahil Jain. And Techno Companion is a digital creative agency that has been making waves in the development space and lots of other spaces, and delivering all the content to the various platforms, and they have been connected to all the various different sectors of the industry. So maybe he this podcast could be really insightful for you in terms of getting to know about what's going in the market and from the industry perspective, and where you should switch your learning curve, right? So to kick off the this podcast, Sahil, if you could introduce yourself a bit.
Thank you so much, Lakshit. So, thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction. And to add a bit more to it, as Lakshit told you guys, my name is Sahil Jain, and I'm the co-founder of Techno Companion. So, Techno Companion is basically an IT company that I, along with Yasir Nazar, started 6 years back, and with the vision of digitizing the businesses that are going offline. Because in this current era, everything is going to work eventually when you go online, like when you digitize things. So you can increase your business many folds if you digitize it, right? And on top of that, if you have any sort of idea that you think can solve a real life problem, so that's where again digitization comes into picture, and that's where we and Techno Companion comes into picture as well. So before starting Techno Companion, and I and Yasir, we were working together. We overall had 8+ years of experience, IT experience only with mobile applications, with digital world, and that's where we decided that we are going to do something of our own, where we can solve some real life problems, help some people go online, go digital, and that's where Techno Companion came into picture. And now it's already been 6 years. We have helped numerous entrepreneurs, business owners in digitizing their ongoing businesses that they were currently, before they connected with us, they were doing offline. And on top of that, like be it the fitness industry, fintech industry, or any other industry, e-commerce industry, we have delivered numerous number of projects in these 6 years. And yeah.
So, uh, I have some couple of questions. I have done my homework. I have a couple of questions prepared for you, but you know, you have used a very big word in the starting of this podcast, digitization, and I'll just try to focus on this point only right now. So, when you say digitizing, and also you have mentioned that these businesses were doing offline, and then you try to convince them to come online, and again go along with the process and stay ahead with the curve. How has been your journey? Like, what is the approach? What is the idea behind, and especially how do you convince these business owners that this could be the real kick for them, the digitization could be easy, maybe the all the data that they have, because they have all the data stored in their stacks, right? How it can be easier for them to go digitally, and they can just build their business from, because for them, either it should add a value or it should add create some some make some more business for them, right? That's what they meant for when they try to innovate or find creativity. So what has been your call? What is the thing that is you are providing them, that is that convinces these business owners, I would say.
Yeah, I completely get your point, Lakshit, and which is a very valid point, because eventually everything has to add value to something. Like
Right.
if you are coming to us, you are spending your money, your time, you are already busy with your ongoing business, be it offline or whatever it is. Still, you are giving us your precious time. So definitely, we have to convince you. We have to some value even in the initial phase itself, and that actually comes with our more than a decade's experience that we have into this field, because we start with every single business with a workshop. So basically, it's before COVID, it was a physical workshop where we would connect with the clients physically, like in an office or in a conference room or something. But now it's more of a virtual thing, where first of all we will understand uh, clients' business, how they are dealing with it offline, like currently how they are operating their business, and then we try to analyze where the technology or digitization can come into picture. Like for example, I'll just give you an example. Uh, one of my clients, he was from fitness industry, and he was a former soccer player in Australian soccer team, and he wanted to build an application where he can teach. He was a soccer coach. He is a soccer coach actually, where he wanted to teach soccer to his kids, and to all these kids in the range of from 9, 10 to up to 20 or even 25 years, like how what is the best training techniques, how they should train themselves depending on like skill, speed, and their strength, how they should work on it. So they had very well defined algorithms how it should be done offline or manually when they would be teaching their kids, but they didn't have any online process of doing it. So we analyzed the problem. We did this workshop that we call as rapid connect workshop, where we analyze all these problems and stuff, and then we try to analyze where we sit in that workshop. Along with us, our technical architects are there, which is the best suitable technology, and based on the problem statement, and then based on our experience, what is the best tech fit for it, we come up with a solution. Okay, this is how we can digitize this particular thing. If there is anything, although we think there is nothing that cannot be digitalized, still if there is anything where we think it cannot be digitized 100%, then we try to analyze at least to what extent we can digitize something. And then eventually, out of that workshop, we come out with an MVP. Okay, this is something that we can digitize, and then we can go to the market with it, or we can actually digitize it, or then see what sort of response we do get from the market. And then based on the response we get, based on the feedback that we get from the actual customers, from the stakeholders, sort of feedback we get, then we try to further improvise it to the next level. Like if there are any gaps, we do the requirement gap analysis, we do the market gap analysis, and based on all those feedback, then we further try to analyze what else can we do to further digitize that particular thing. So
So
this is,
somewhere or the other, also you are also in the space of consultancy, I would say, right? Because you are
yes,
analyzing their problem, right?
yes, Lakshit, definitely, because consultancy is just the start point. Because first of all, we have to analyze and understand the actual real life problem. Until we do that, there's no way we can build a technology for you. Only
Right.
after we understand the real life problem, the actual pain points of the customer, then only we can analyze with our experience, okay, how we can solve this problem with the help of the technology. Because these are two different things that we are trying to meet here. One is the problem statement, and the second is the technology, how technology is going to solve that problem. And when both of these meet, then that's when and where we come up with the solution.
Okay, maybe it's a little bit late, but I would like still I want to ask or maybe know about your journey to building Techno Companion as a venture. What has been your how has been your experience building Techno Companion? Can you walk me through the 6 years, because it's very tough to survive in this services industry. How's been your experience and what inspired you that time? 6 years or maybe 6 7 years back to build this company out of here. And again, when the COVID hit, how's been the situation? If you could just walk me through about this.
So, Lakshit, after we started Techno Companion, we were really fortunate. Like we had this clear vision that we are going to solve some real life problems, and we are going to start Techno Companion, me and Yasir. And me being from the product management background, and Yasir being from the tech background, we already had an edge that I can go ahead and analyze the problems in a way that I can understand what I can put myself into client shoes and understand what real life problem they are facing. And then with Yasir's help, we can analyze it from the technical perspective, like what sort of technology or how we can solve these problems using technology. And we were really fortunate. In just the first 4 months of our incorporation, we got one of Fortune 500 clients. It was Accor. So you must have heard about Accor hotel groups. So
Right. Yeah.
we built an internal L&D application for them. So it was really fulfilling. They visited our office, they analyzed our team, ourselves, and then we started with this journey where we built this application for them. And they were really happy with the work that we delivered to them, and it was a big boost for us. And just in the first year, Lakshit, initially we started from Gurgaon. We had this office in Deobia Place for Gurgaon, and within the first year we started another office in Lucknow. So we expanded our team to Lucknow, and now our team is more aligned in Lucknow. Yeah. So and after that, the more business came through word of mouth only. So like we visited some of our clients. More of these are enterprise clients only, who bring recurring business to us. So we are already supporting them. We have our clients on Melbourne Airport, Brisbane Airport, even some of the US airports. We have built security products, from products for the fintech industry, fitness industry, and uh, all the recurring business, Lakshit, we have got through the quality of work that we have delivered in the market. Our clients, they most, even I would say, even after 6 years, 80 to 90% of the clients who started their journey with us back in 2018 and 2019, they are still associated with us, and that I consider is the biggest win for us. Because if
Yeah,
our clients can stay with us for that long, then definitely we are delivering and we are making some value for them. And that is,
definitely. Yeah.
yeah, that's how we get most of our business, like through word of mouth, through the quality of work that we deliver.
Okay, maybe you are doing some kind of magic over there, right? There is some secret spell that you are spelling over there, right? So, going ahead with this podcast, maybe as you have mentioned about getting the clients onboarding the clients and everything, I would like to know, is there any specific approach, or if you want to answer this question, maybe if there, is there any specific approach where you generate leads, like maybe suppose there is a company, maybe X company, right? You just analyze their problem, like it can be solved, your company organization could solve their problem, they are suffering, they are struggling, I would say they are struggling with their development phase. Then you just pitch them with an MVP, and so this is how it works, or how it works. I just wanted to know what is your secret source while pitching the clients, getting the client, because the service industry is always about the clients, right? Getting the clients in and closing the all the everything, right? So how has been your experience?
Yeah, actually, that's a good question. So, actually, we are not only we only don't only look forward to closing the client. We look forward to uh, understanding the problem and providing a genuine solution for the problem. Because until you provide a solution to the client's problem, there's no way you are going to close the client. Like these things are very much interrelated. So if you can actually provide a solution, then only you can close the client. Because without a solution, even if you somehow convince the client to go ahead with you, you can do it only for a small period of time. Eventually, they are going to walk away because you are not adding value for them. You are not providing them a genuine solution. So that's always our motto is to provide a genuine solution, and with MVP, because clients have their own problems. MVP is, as you already know, minimum viable product. Because first of all, our aim is to test out the market and the market's response to what solution we are providing digitally, right? And is it is a because we have analyzed, we have understood that our solution is actually going to solve client's problem, but does it actually solves it once we bring it to life? So that's a very important question. And client have cost constraints, time constraints. The market would change in a certain period of time, so we cannot target to build a product in say 1 year or a couple of years of time. We have to hit the market as soon as possible and with the minimum investment possible. So that all we have to analyze within an MVP. Okay, this is a must-have. User stories, user journeys. These are good to have. These are nice to have, and the some of the user story we can mark as deferred, that we can consider to bring in later stages once we actually try out the market. So
Right.
based on all these discussions with the clients, we come up with the final MVP. Okay, this is the minimum viable product that we want to build, and once we decide that, then we analyze it from the time perspective, like how much time it is going to take to build this up, with how many resources. And that's how we come up with the cost as well, because we know the time, we know the number of resources we have to deploy to that particular project. And then we do all of that calculation and come up with a cost and a plan, on the basis of which client can pay to us. And
Yeah. Yeah.
one more thing, sorry to interrupt you, Lakshit, one more thing I want to add to it. We The best part is we work in an agile mode. Like it's not like we are building a product and then we are delivering to the client. It's a journey that the client lives with us. For example, if we are building a say mobile application in 3 months of time, so we are gonna divide it into say 12 sprints, 12 weekly sprints, and we are going to share a working prototype, working small module with the client every single week. We give a demo to the client. Like after the first sprint, we will show the client, okay, we have built the sign up and sign in functionality, the home page of the application. In the then client can actually review it and provide their feedback. So for just to give you an example, suppose we in the sign up we just build email sign up, but that doesn't work these days. Not just the email sign up, you have to get the Facebook login, the Google login, all of that stuff. Yeah, Instagram login. So based on that, so client can provide their feedback. Okay, I used to forget my password, so we just cannot go with only the email login. Maybe we should go with the phone number login, where we shoot an OTP to your phone number and you sign in using your using that OTP. So that sort of feedback we tend to get from the client on a weekly basis, instead of bombarding them with the built application, where to make any changes we have to go through the entire process again and again. Because
Right,
when it is
right.
not built, when we are going through that journey, it's most easiest to make changes.
Yeah, that's the product manager skills are coming, spelling out. I can see I can see it in your graphs, right? So a little bit moving ahead, so it's again, as we are talking about the development journey. We shouldn't forget about the UX part, in a word of increasing, focused on user experience, where we are. I mean, when it comes to about intuitive and engaging interface designs in its applications, I've been through some of your work, and so I just wanted to know the exact process, how these companies are focusing on better design and UX. Because are these companies really focusing on design because they have very limited, they don't want to spend much more money, they do not spend much more resources. So how much they are aware of the a great design, or maybe a good design, a decent design that could work for them?
So, Lakshit, we really believe a good design and a good UX is the soul of any digital platform these days. Because be it Uber, Ola, any application you take, for example, LinkedIn, uh, if if a user has to spend more than half a second in identifying like how they are supposed to use that application, they are just going to quit. There are n number of solutions, n number of applications out there that they can go and use. So if they have to think like how they are supposed to use, they'll just quit. Yeah. So eventually we would be ending up putting in more
Right,
money and more effort and time if we do not do that initially in our designs and UX. So we have a beautiful UI and UX team where we write down all the UX scenarios, where we analyze what is going to be the most beautiful and easy to use for our end customers. We put ourselves like we have a dedicated team. So I'll tell you what the entire journey is. After we close down the MVP and we close down all the contracts, we sign the NDAs and all. So after that, the first step is building the designs. So based on the requirements of the client, exactly like the development, we have a design phase. Say, for example, that is divided into multiple sprints. Say, for example, say 4 sprints. In the first sprint, we are going to build just the wireframes of the application to showcase to the client like this is how the UX would look like. This is how the actual real designs would look like after we will actually build them. Yeah. Then we have all those conversations with the clients. We share both those wireframes with our internal team to use, see, and provide their actual real-time feedback, like how they go ahead with this. Yeah. And then based on
right,
all of those feedback in the second sprint, we further improvise all those wireframes. And then once we receive a sign off from the client side on the wireframe, that's when we move to the visual designs. In the visual designs, we take those wireframes as our basis to create the visual designs, and we proceed ahead with the visual designs. And then again, there's a similar process of 2 to 3 weeks, or obviously depending on the potential or the project, how much time it takes. And then we go ahead with the visual designs. We showcase it to the client's internal team, and then we incorporate all the feedback. We having all those internal discussions, and finally come up with the final version of the designs that we are going to have in the end. And these are not just the designs, Lakshit, that you can just see. So it is more of a prototype that you can actually see. Like for example, if you will tap on the sign up button, it will automatically take you to the next screen where you can see, okay, this is how my home screen would look like. Then if you are supposed to take any action on the home screen, then you can actually take that on the prototype itself. So it actually gives you a look and feel of the real application before we actually build it. And if you face any sort of issues, we identify that, we log all of them in Jira, we analyze them, we discuss them, and then we decide where all we can improve. And finally, once the visual designs are completely ready, completely signed off and reviewed by the client, then only we move to the development phase.
Yeah, so at the starting of the podcast, you mentioned something about data security. I just wanted to know, with the increasing concerns about data security, how does your organization, prioritize and implement security measures in its applications? Because every organization has different governance policies, and different things, right? Terms and conditions. So maybe somewhere your consultancy roles is also involved in between here, right? So how this process is working?
That's again a good question, Lakshit. So, Lakshit, I'll tell you, before product management, I started my career as a quality analyst. So, at the bottom of my heart, I have this heart for quality where I just get be like time, budget, everything is in their place, but I just cannot compromise with the quality. Being a quality analyst at heart, and security, cyber security these days, Lakshit, is super important, and there's no way we can compromise with the cyber security because until your database, your users data, all of that is 100% secure. There is no way you can go live to the market, because at every
Right.
single point of time, your data and your application would be at risk. So at Techno Companion, we follow OS top 10 security standards, where we test our applications from each and every standard, like vulnerability, from a hacking perspective, this, we in our terms we call it ethical hacking, where we try to hack our own application, but ethically, not from a hijacker's point of view. And then we see if we put ourselves into hacker's shoes and try to hack our own application, and then we check out how secure our application is. And there are well defined rules, testing rules, that we have to deploy, that we have to test our application from that perspective, or as top 10. And then we also share always top 10 report with our clients to make sure, to give them a certificate that your application is 100% secure for any sort of cyber attack. Because if
Yeah.
you would go to the market, Lakshit, I'm telling you, more than 90% of the applications are not secured from the cyber attack perspective, and
Right.
this has caused more damage than any other thing in the last decade, you can say. Like, we have done this analysis, and there has been billions and trillions of dollars of damages only because of cyber attacks.
Yes, so this industry is very disrupted. I understand this. So when we are talking about industry, I would like to know, what are your observations about current trends that are going in the development industry? Which tech stack you would prefer anyone to it's being overhyped, I would say. Any that's a part of industry, right? Any a particular tech stack is being overhyped in every industry, right? So which is the leading one, you would say?
So, actually, this is a very subjective question, actually, because we really do not believe in one fit for all. So that doesn't happen in the real environment, and that's why we
Right.
conduct this workshop as the very first step of analyzing any problem statement, because every problem statement, we really believe in this. Every problem statement should have a, or must have, a different tech stack depending on its nature. Like that's why we have all these in-house technology experts, where, and our technical experts, our technical architects sit in that workshop and analyze, based on the problem statement, what tech stack we should align with that particular product. Like, we have built products in Java, we have built in PHP, we have built in .NET, but that all depends on the nature of the problem statement. They cannot be one fit for all.
Right, that's a very honest answer. And with the fast pace of evolution of tech, what challenges do you face staying in the forefront of development? And even after GenAI coming in, and these big players are marketing it and rushing after generative AI and all these LLM models, how do you see the client needs has been there has been any change in the client needs, or any specific disruption that you have seen in the industry?
Yeah, undoubtedly, with all of this evolution and revolution, that clients have become more smarter. They are more, instead of smarter, I would say they are more aware about the technology and how, what their end customers are expecting. So they ask more productive questions, like how we are going to build their application, what is the most effective way, what is the most scalable way. Because eventually, even though at the moment they are only going with the MVP, but down the line they have to scale their application, right? So that's why clients are asking more productive questions, and we also have to be on our toes, because eventually it's not only about satisfying the clients and giving them the genuine answers, it's actually building scalable applications. So this in some to some quite some extent, this AI thing, generative AI, these has only been productive for us, because they are giving us more market analysis, more real time scenarios that we can consider while choosing any technology, while actually building the product, while building the UI or UX of the product, how it is going to impact the real life of the customers or real time customers. So it is only helping us out, Lakshit. And we are, but
Right.
one thing I strongly believe in, it is never, even though AI is evolving, like revolutionizing every single day, it is never going to replace the real people, because we can only be more efficient using these, but manual intervention, manual effort would always be required.
Definitely, I agree 100% with your statement that you just made. And as we are reaching to the end of this podcast, I would just like to know, for all those inspiring developers and entrepreneurs who are listening to this podcast, what advice you will give based on your experience in the industry. Where should they align their focus on? What maybe someone sitting there, in the college, and maybe in the first second year of their college, where which industry or which target tech space they could target on, what could be the best space to work upon.
So on that perspective, Lakshit, I really think they should target on building strong foundation. Because if your foundation is although that's a generic statement, but if the foundation is strong, then they won't face any issues, any problems in like building over that strong foundation. Because
Right.
in earlier days when I started my career, like they were back-end developers, they were front-end developers, then they were even in the back-end they were developers who would be expert in just PHP or just Java. Yeah, but these days you just cannot rely on one technology. Like if you are talking to front-end developers, you must know how the front-end technology works, how React.js works, how Flutter works. Yeah, so you must have a overall and holistic view of any technology, so that eventually when you are building on any product, you have a complete overview how things work, what is the best tech stack that you should be picking up. So instead of just working or polishing your skills or learning just one technology, just try to build a strong foundation, so that when the time comes, you do not face any issues in switching over to any other technology, or just keeping yourself up to the mark with the latest technology and standards.
That's a very great honest answer you have given, and thank you for all the insights that you have given in this podcast. And thank you for your all the 28 special minutes that you gave us for this podcast. It was really nice talking to you, and maybe looking forward to talk to you in future as well for more such enlightening podcasts and deeping dive more into the work that you are trying to do and more about the industry per se, right? So, and
Thank
thank
you
you
so
everyone
much.
for listening to this podcast.
Thank you so much, Lakshit. Thank you so much, guys.